Marcus thought it was just another cold night cleaning offices. Then he heard crying from the locked server room. Inside, the city's most powerful CEO was trapped and freezing. One rescue would change both their lives forever. Sometimes heroes wear janitor uniforms, not expensive suits. Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. Marcus Rivera pulled his old Honda into the parking lot of Sterling Tech Tower, the W. Heeled wipers fighting against the fierce December storm. Snow whirled around the towering glass building like angry spirits, and the temperature had dropped to dangerous levels. As head of the night cleaning crew, Marcus had seen his share of brutal winters, but tonight felt different, almost menacing. His phone buzzed with a text from his babysitter. "Emma's asleep. Don't worry about being late. This storm is crazy." Marcus smiled despite his exhaustion. Emma, his 7-year-old daughter, was the light of his life. Ever since his wife Sarah had died in a car accident 3 years ago, it had been just the two of them against the world. Every late-night shift, every double weekend, every sacrifice, it was all for her. He gathered his cleaning supplies and headed toward the employee entrance, his breath visible in the frigid air. The building's heating system had been acting up all week, and tonight it seemed to have given up entirely. The lobby felt like an icebox. "Great," Marcus muttered, pulling his jacket tighter. "Going to be a long night." By 11 p.m., Marcus had worked his way up to the executive floors. The 40th floor housed the CEO's office and the main server room, usually off-limits to cleaning staff, but tonight security had asked him to check for any heating issues. As he approached the server room, he heard something that made him freeze. A faint tapping sound, almost like Morse code. Then, barely audible above the storm raging outside, he heard a voice. "Help, please, someone." Marcus dropped his mop bucket and pressed his ear to the server room door. The voice was weak, desperate, and definitely female. He tried the handle, locked tight. His cleaning master key didn't work on this door. "Hello? Can you hear me?" he called out. "Yes, please. I'm trapped. The door won't open, so cold." The voice was getting weaker. Marcus's mind raced. He knew the server room was kept at extremely low temperatures to protect the equipment, but with the building's heating system failing, it would be dangerously cold in there. "I'm going to get you out. What's your name?" "V. Victoria." "Victoria Sterling." Marcus's eyes widened. Victoria Sterling, the CEO of Sterling Tech, one of the youngest and most successful executives in the city. He'd seen her picture in magazines, heard the staff whisper about her. Some called her brilliant but cold, others said she was ruthless in business. But right now she was just someone who needed help. Marcus ran to the security desk, but it was empty. The guard must have been making rounds. He tried calling maintenance, but the storm had knocked out most of the phone lines. Panic rising in his chest, he grabbed a fire axe from the emergency case. Back at the server room, Victoria's voice was barely a whisper. "Please, don't leave me." "I'm not going anywhere," Marcus said firmly. "Cover your face and get away from the door." He swung the axe with all his strength. The first blow barely dented the reinforced door. The second created a small crack. By the fifth swing, his arms burned with effort, but adrenaline kept him going. Finally, the lock mechanism gave way. The door swung open and Marcus gasped. Victoria Sterling sat huddled in the corner, her expensive business suit offering little protection against the freezing temperatures. Her lips were blue, her whole body shaking violently. "Oh God," Marcus breathed, rushing to her side. "How long have you been in here?" "Since 6. The door J just slammed shut, electronic lock failed." Her teeth chattered so hard she could barely speak. 4 hours in sub-zero temperatures. Marcus knew she was in serious danger of hypothermia. Without hesitation, he stripped off his heavy work jacket and wrapped it around her shoulders, then scooped her up in his arms. "I've got you now. You're safe." Marcus carried Victoria to the employee break room, the warmest place he could think of. He turned on the small space heater and wrapped her in every towel and blanket he could find. Her body was ice cold, her breathing shallow. "Stay with me," he said gently, rubbing her hands between his own to restore circulation. "What's your favorite color?" What? Victoria looked at him with confusion. "Just talk to me. Keep your mind active." "Favorite color?" "Be blue, like the ocean." Her voice was getting slightly stronger. "Good. I love the ocean too. My daughter Emma and I go to the beach every summer. She builds these amazing sand castles." Marcus kept talking, sharing stories about Emma's latest school adventures, her obsession with dinosaurs, her dreams of becoming a veterinarian. Slowly, color began to return to Victoria's cheeks. Her shivering lessened. But Marcus didn't stop. He made hot tea from the break room supplies, found crackers in the vending machine, and kept her talking. "Why are you being so kind to me?" Victoria asked after an hour, her voice now clear but filled with wonder. Marcus looked surprised. "Why wouldn't I be? You needed help. But, you don't even know me. I'm just some executive to you." "No," Marcus said softly. "You're a person who was scared and alone. That's all that matters." As the storm raged outside and they waited for rescue, Victoria began to share her story. She had grown up poor, fought her way through college on scholarships, and built sterling tech from nothing. The pressure, the loneliness, the constant need to prove herself, it had consumed her life. "People think I'm made of ice," she whispered. "Maybe they're right." "You're not made of ice," Marcus said firmly. "Ice would have shattered hours ago. You're stronger than that." Victoria smiled, the first genuine smile she'd felt in months. "Tell me about your daughter." Marcus's face lit up. He pulled out his phone and showed her pictures. Emma missing her front teeth, Emma covered in finger paint, Emma asleep with a book on her chest. "She's beautiful," Victoria said, and something in her chest tightened with longing. "You're lucky." "I am. But it hasn't been easy. After Sarah died." Marcus's voice caught. "There were nights I didn't think I could do it alone. But Emma gives me strength I didn't know I had." "How do you do it?" "Work nights, raise her alone." "Love," Marcus said simply. "Love makes you capable of anything." By morning, the storm had passed and rescue crews had arrived. Paramedics checked Victoria over. She would be fine, thanks to Marcus's quick thinking and care. As they prepared to leave, Victoria caught Marcus's arm. "I owe you my life," she said. "You don't owe me anything," Marcus replied. "I'm just glad you're okay." But Victoria had made a decision during those long hours in the break room. She had seen something in Marcus, a goodness, a strength, a capacity for love that she had forgotten existed in the world. "Marcus, I want to offer you a job. Head of building operations. Better hours, better pay, full benefits for you and Emma." Marcus stared at her. "Ma'am, I appreciate it, but I don't have the qualifications." "You have the most important qualification," Victoria interrupted. "Character. Everything else can be learned." 3 months later, Marcus stood in his new office, looking out at the city skyline. The job had changed everything. He was home for dinner with Emma every night, could afford better childcare, even started saving for Emma's college fund. But the biggest change was Victoria herself. She had begun stopping by his office at first with work questions, then just to talk. She asked about Emma's school plays, her soccer games, her latest art projects. Slowly, the Ice Queen facade melted away, revealing a woman who was brilliant, yes, but also kind, funny, and deeply lonely. "Daddy, is Miss Victoria coming to my birthday party?" Emma asked one evening as Marcus tucked her into bed. "Would you like her to?" Emma nodded enthusiastically. "She's nice. And she looks sad sometimes. Maybe cake will make her happy." Marcus smiled. His daughter had inherited his gift for seeing straight to the heart of people. Victoria stared at the colorful invitation on her desk. Emma's 8th birthday party dinosaur theme. "Please come." At the bottom in Emma's careful handwriting, "You're my friend now. Friends come to birthday parties." Victoria's assistant knocked on the door. "Miss Sterling? Your 2 o'clock is here." "Cancel it," Victoria said suddenly. "Cancel all my afternoon meetings." "Ma'am? I have a birthday party to attend." Victoria had never been to a child's birthday party. She arrived at Marcus's small apartment with an enormous gift bag, nervous as a teenager on a first date. "Miss Victoria." Emma launched herself at Victoria, wrapping small arms around her waist. "You came. Daddy said you might be too busy." "I wouldn't miss it for the world," Victoria said, and realized she meant it. The apartment was decorated with paper dinosaurs and balloons. A dozen children ran around playing games while Marcus served pizza and juice boxes. Victoria felt completely out of place in her designer dress, but Emma grabbed her hand and pulled her into the chaos. "Come on. We're playing dinosaur rescue." For the next 3 hours, Victoria crawled around on the floor, roared like a T-Rex, and helped Emma blow out 8 candles. She had never laughed so much in her life. As the party wound down and parents collected their children, Emma presented Victoria with a handmade card, a crayon drawing of 3 stick figures holding hands under a rainbow. "That's you, me, and Daddy," Emma explained. "We're a team now." Victoria's eyes filled with tears. "It's beautiful, sweetheart." Summer arrived and with it, a new tradition. Every Saturday Marcus, Emma and Victoria would spend the day together. They went to the zoo, the museum, the beach Emma loved so much. Victoria taught Emma about business and computers. Emma taught Victoria about imagination and wonder. Marcus watched his daughter and Victoria together, his heart full. Victoria would get down on Emma's level, listen to her stories with complete attention, celebrate her small victories like they were major achievements. She was becoming the mother Emma had never really known. And Marcus was falling in love. It crept up on him slowly, the way Victoria's face lit up when she saw them, how she remembered every little detail about Emma's life, the way she made him laugh until his sides hurt. She wasn't the cold CEO the media portrayed. She was warm, vulnerable, and desperately in need of the love he had to give. One evening, after Emma had fallen asleep during a movie marathon, Marcus and Victoria sat on the couch talking quietly. "I never thought I could have this," Victoria whispered, watching Emma sleep peacefully between them. "Have what?" "A family, people who love me for who I am, not what I can do for them." Marcus turned to face her. "Victoria, I know it's complicated," she rushed on. "I'm your boss, we come from different worlds." "Victoria," Marcus said again, gently taking her hand. "I love you." The words hung in the air between them. Victoria's eyes filled with tears. "I love you too," she whispered. "Both of you. So much it scares me." Marcus cupped her face in his hands. "Don't be scared. Love isn't something to fear, it's something to celebrate." Their first kiss was soft, tentative, full of promise. A year later, Marcus stood in Victoria's office, nervously adjusting his tie. He had a plan, but it required perfect timing. "Emma, are you ready?" he whispered to his daughter, who was hiding behind his desk with a small velvet box. Victoria walked in from her meeting, surprised to see them there. "What's going on? Is everything okay?" "Everything's perfect," Marcus said, taking her hands. "Victoria, you saved my life that night in the server room, but not in the way you think. You didn't just give me a job, you gave me hope. You showed me that love can come when you least expect it, in the most unlikely places." Victoria's eyes widened as Marcus dropped to one knee. "You've been Emma's mom in every way that matters. You've been my partner, my best friend, my heart. Will you make it official? Will you marry us?" Emma popped up from behind the desk, holding out the ring box. "Please say yes. I already picked out my bridesmaid dress." Victoria laughed through her tears, pulling them both into her arms. "Yes. Yes, of course, yes." Victoria Sterling Rivera sat in the front row of Emma's middle school graduation, cheering louder than anyone when her daughter's name was called. Marcus squeezed her hand, grinning with pride. "Valedictorian," he whispered. "Just like her mom." "She's going to change the world," Victoria whispered back. Their son David, now 3 years old, clapped excitedly from Victoria's lap, not understanding the ceremony but caught up in the joy around him. After the ceremony, Emma ran to them, diploma in hand. "Did you see? Did you see me walk across the stage? We're so proud of you, sweetheart," Victoria said, hugging her tight. "I have something for you," Emma said, pulling out a familiar piece of paper, the crayon drawing she had made years ago at her 8th birthday party. "Remember this?" Victoria smiled, taking the worn paper. "Of course. You said we were a team." "We still are," Emma said. "We always will be." As they walked out of the auditorium together, Marcus carrying David, Victoria's arm around Emma's shoulders, Victoria reflected on how one terrible, freezing night had led to the most beautiful life she could have imagined. Sometimes the best things come from the worst moments. Sometimes a single act of kindness can change everything. And sometimes, when you're trapped in the cold and dark, all you need is someone willing to break down the door and remind you that you're not alone. Love, Victoria had learned, was the warmest thing of all.